We all love main characters, don't we? Whether they are lame, funny, or just a total Sigma Chad, but there's one thing that we love even more. It is nothing else than seeing others looking down on the MC. So today we will deep dive into 10 anime where everybody hated the main character, but not for too long. Number 10. The Misfit of the Demon Academy. Just as the name suggests, this story is about a demon lord and the typical battle between demon and heroes. However, the main character, Anos Voldigod Aik, the demon king of tyranny, was a symbol of fear, bloodshed, and revenge. However, he is sick of this war that has been ongoing for 2,000 years, so he joins forces with the heroes and sacrifices himself to be reincarnated after 2,000 years. But in his new life, he is reborn as a misfit, and surprisingly, he can talk and walk at birth. Long story short, Animus goes on to take his rightful place as the true demon lord, but everyone at the academy thinks that he is just full of fluff. Anos meets his previous comrades, but it turns out that someone has changed his legacy, his deeds, his sacrifices, and even his name under an imposter's name, Evos Dilhevia. With the peace he brought about making his descendants weaker, Anos, who is now officially a hybrid himself, chooses to take back his previous title. He is deemed a complete misfit at the Demon King Academy, where he must first graduate. Anos shows incredible magic even at such a young age, and even the teachers can't comprehend it. Still, people consider him a misfit as he was not born into a noble family, so they make the worst mistake of their lives. They look down on him, tease him, and even misjudge his powers. But Animus is a cool lad and loves to show off his cool magic powers. Like a cocky boy named Zeeps was humbled by Anos instantly, but Zeeps' elder brother doesn't withstand this embarrassment, so he brings out his little gang and challenges the Demon King. The result was obvious. Anos made the two brothers ashamed of their act and even lay waste to the whole gang, leaving them on the brink of death. Hence, whatever you do, never look down on a person who claims to be the Demon King. Number 9. My Little Monster. Next up on our list is My Little Monster. This story is about Eren and Mikasa, where they confess to each other. Just kidding, that'll never happen. This story is about Shizuku and Yoshida. Shizuku is a typical introvert that you can easily find in your class, while Yoshida is the school bully that will kick some butt without any reason. Shizuku Mizutani mainly worries about her academics and has little empathy for her peers. Shizuku just cares about herself without anything else. To her, the world is just a distraction, so she has no friends and social interaction. On the other hand, Haru, an aggressive miscreant who, following a brawl early in the school year, ceased showing up to class. He and her are not all that dissimilar. He lacks friends and has no understanding of human nature as well. But the life of the two main characters suddenly start to change when they meet each other. Haru is totally opposite to our Tatake and confesses his feelings to Shizuku, but having a peanut-sized brain, it can be difficult to understand such feelings. But as their friendship grows, she learns that Haru is more than just a violent person. She starts to feel something for him, but she's not sure what type of sensation. Shizuku and Haru investigate the genuine nature of their feelings and connection together. Number 8. Elfen Lied. The story of Elfen Lied is set in Kamakura and Kanagawa and centers on a recently altered species known as the Diclonius. With a few notable exceptions such as horn-like protrusions on the forehead, telekinetic invisible arms known as vectors, and unusual hair color, their appearance is similar to that of humans. The protagonist of the show, Lucy, is one such Diclonius. She is first kept in an experimenting facility off the coast of Kamakura. She escapes and creates mayhem. She is treated as a subject and not a human, so she kills everyone that makes her feel threatened. So she turns on the very people who brought her to life, but this confrontation and the agency's attempt to recapture or, in worst case, kill her, injures her, which leads to the development of a second infantile personality known as Mew. Two locals who attend the university in the area, Kauta and his cousin Yuka, find Lucy. The following morning, Kauta, a young man, leaves his hometown of Tokyo to attend a university in Kamakura, where he meets Yuka, his childhood crush and cousin. On the beach at Enoshima Park, the two come across Lucy, who is injured. She is naked, has a bullet wound to her head, and can only utter the word Mew. This childlike girl has taken the place of the cruel Lucy, but her personality is not going to disappear entirely. She is named Mew by Kauta and Yuka when they decide to bring her to Maple House. They take her in and get embroiled in the several, usually violent attempts by a special assault team and several other Diclonius, who alternate between being ignorant and bloodthirsty to get her back. Throughout the series, there are various incidences of casual beatings, cruel experimentation, and outright killing. Also, animal cruelty is present when 3 young boys mercilessly beat Lucy's puppy until it dies. Though the act is off-screen, a copious amount of blood is shown, which drives Lucy to murder the bullies out of revenge and insanity. According to the director, the main aim of this anime is to show the dark side of the human nature, where they differentiate people based on their looks, and this causes havoc based on their treatment. If you want to see some gore scenes and some quick second thoughts when you look down on someone, Elfen Lied is your go-to ticket. Number 7. Blue Exorcist. The protagonist of the tale is Rin Okumura, who was raised by Exorcist's father together with his younger brother, Yukio Okumura. Rin discovers one day that he and Yukio are Satan's sons. After seeing Shura sacrifice himself to save him, Rin wields the demon-slaying sword, therefore limiting his demonic abilities. Rin then develops demonic traits like fangs and a tail, as well as the ability to burst into blue flames that can burn through nearly anything. In order to grow stronger and vanquish Satan, Rin aspires to become an exorcist like his guardian. However, people still misjudge him a lot and look down on him thinking he's some demon maniac. For instance, his friends blamed him when one of his friends was killed. In reality, an international organization devoted to defending Asaya, the human realm, against Gehenna, the demonic realm, is the famed True Cross Academy, an exorcist cram school. To Rin's astonishment, Yukio turns out to be one of his professors and an experienced exorcist. With his brother and other classmates who quickly become close friends, Rin sets out on his mission to become an exorcist. Overall, anime is pretty good and shows that you should choose your circle wisely. Just like everyone hated when Gabi killed Sasha, everyone hated Rin for being a satanic jerk, so Rin had nothing else to do but become the demon the people wanted him to be. Just my opinion on how things should have gone. Season 2 mostly revolves around when the left eye of the impure king, a powerful artifact, was stolen from the heart of the academy. Aspiring exorcists, including Rin, are sent to Kyoto as reinforcements, under the supervision of Shura. Although Rin and Ryuji work together to vanquish the impure king before his microbes wreak havoc on Kyoto, something is still lacking. When Rin at last succeeded in removing the Kamaken from its sheath, the son of Satan became the ultimate authority. With the assistance of every other exorcist, Rin was able to ultimately vanquish the impure king. But a lot of things will need to be put into perspective before things return to normal between people's secrets and misperceptions of others. Overall, this anime is pretty smooth with many plot twists and cliffhangers to make you eagerly wait for the next move. Number 6. Kaizen Sins. Moving up in our top 6 is a pretty bizarre anime where all things are just related to killing each other. What would you do if the whole world wants to kill you? Would you fight back or just accept your fate? Well, Kaizen Sins is all about that. In the society described in Kaizen Sins, humans were dominated by machines that developed sentience. With an iron grip breaking boss, their commander governed the entire globe. The people called for the mysterious Luna one day, believing she would bring about humanity's redemption. The strongest warrior, Kaizen, found Luna and killed her. But this also brought about the ruin, a calamitous incident that precipitated the end of the world. The robots started to corrode and die, losing their capacity to live forever. After hundreds of years, the atmosphere of the planet is poisoned and mankind is on the verge of extinction since the majority of surviving humans are unable to reproduce and because robots continue to represent a threat. Robots survive a little better than humans and fear death just as much. Their mechanical bodies rust and corrode quickly in the toxic atmosphere, requiring frequent replacement of damaged parts. After Luna was killed, Kaizen vanished and reappeared with no memory of his identity or past actions. Kaizen is forced to battle for his life after a rumor goes out that any robot who kills and eats him will get eternal life. Throughout the narrative, he looks for the truth about the past and attempts to make sense of the people around him who seem to have a strong will to live. The overall vibe of the anime is pretty chilling as there are many instances when the people look down on Kaizen thinking that he is just a clueless bot, but soon they realize that they have made a severe mistake. Our main character has to face life-threatening every day and it feels like he's always in a bad mood. Number 5. Beastars. All of you guys have probably watched the Zootopia movie, right? If you haven't, well, you are probably living your life under a rock. In this movie, it's all about animals and tensions between them. The same thing goes for our Spot 5 anime. There is a cultural gap between herbivorous and carnivorous animals in a modern civilized society where animals resemble humans. Large gray wolf Legoshi is a shy and reserved student at Chariot Academy. He shares a hostel with a few other carnivorous students, notably his gregarious Labrador buddy Jack. As a stagehand for the school's theatrical club, Legoshi assists the performers under the leadership of the club's top student. Red Deer, Deer the Night of Tem, the alpaca's terrible murder and consumption causes a stir of uneasiness and mistrust amongst the pupils who are herbivores and carnivores. Legoshi also starts to feel complicated feelings for Haru, a dwarf rabbit who has been in love with Louis after a fateful encounter with her. Our main character is pretty kind-hearted, but his appearance as a carnivore puts him to test every time. He always tries to hide his true and menacing nature, but sometimes he just can't help it. The Season 1 finale of Beastars sees us flash back in time as we see a brief montage of Haru and Legoshi's time together as she puts her arm in Legoshi's mouth, a reactionary move for wanting to be prey. Only he doesn't bite down, but it's enough to make him feel ashamed. Beastars has addressed prejudice towards both carnivores and herbivores during the course of the show, raising issues that might be seen as a reflection of both sexism and racism. However, the show never delves too far into this, keeping the forbidden love theme as the main plot device for a large portion of the season. With its themes contributing to the show's depth, Beastars has been a good anime offering overall. However, because the second season is still up in the air, everyone's eyes will undoubtedly be on it to see what happens in this ongoing series. Number 4. Kono Ono Tomari Sounds of Life. Just from the name, you can clearly see that this anime is all about happiness and slice-of-life parts. Sack, that's the wrong number. Our main Chad here is completely the opposite of happiness and peace. The main character, Kudo, is well known for beating up nerds and bullies like you. He finds peace in fighting and is always in fights in or out of school. However, he has a profound taste for a musical instrument, just like his grandfather told him. The Kodo Club at Tokai's high school in Kanagawa Prefecture is the main subject of the narrative. After all of the senior members of the Kodo Club have graduated, Takezo Kurata, a second-year student, is the only remaining member. Shika Kudo submits his application while he is making every effort to bring in new members for the organization. Takezo, however, is concerned about Kudo because he is a renowned miscreant who ruined his own grandfather's Kodo shop. When he learns the truth, everything is different. The Kodo prodigy Satowa Hazuki, who has her own goals, is also joining the club. As time goes on, more people join the club for various reasons. However, the main reason is to pay at Kodo Nationals competition. Most of his friends lovingly refer to him by his first name, yet Kudo has a very innocent demeanor. He is honest in his speech, but because he hasn't had many friends and has spent the majority of his youth as a delinquent, it's unclear how to communicate with people or comprehend them. It is due of his grandfather that he adopts a new outlook and becomes interested in the Kodo. He picks up playing really quickly. He can even pick up a new skill immediately after seeing someone else. Finding out that Satowa is brilliant, he decides that his objective is to get to her level. Later on, he grows attracted of Satowa, but he doesn't know why he feels the need to touch or cuddle her as he doesn't comprehend his own emotions. This anime is surely a treat for the eyes as the MC has little to no emotions and his peanut brain can't comprehend the basic emotions he's feeling. So, what is better? Having no emotions or having no head like Eren Eater? Number 3. Rising of the Shield Hero. Finally, we are in the top 3. From the name, you can assume that this anime is about defense. The world's cardinal heroes, Naofumi Iwatani, was an amiable young Japanese man who was called, along with 3 other young Japanese men from other realities, into a parallel world to battle waves, an interdimensional army of monsters. When the heroes were called upon, each had their own legendary weaponry at their disposal. The other heroes each received a sword, a spear, or a bow, weapons intended for attack. But Naofumi was the only one to receive the legendary shield, the only piece of equipment for defense. Naofumi's luck worsens when his lone companion, who turns out to be the kingdom's princess, betrays him, takes all of his possessions, and abandons him without any help or allies, in contrast to the other heroes who receive full backing from the kingdom and each acquires a number of powerful allies. She also accuses Naofumi for developing plot with her, which is certainly not the case, but hey, we wouldn't complain about it if they show some. The now cynical Naofumi is forced to train as a hero alone while working to make ends meet after being mocked by the nobility and rejected by everyone from peasants to fellow heroes. He is hated by everyone for something that he didn't even commit, and even a shopkeeper was about to whoop his ass. Nobody will even go on raid with him. Talk about real-life trauma. And that's when it happened. People started to look down on our beloved MC. Due to his ill luck, he purchases from a slave trader a young Tanuki demi-human girl named Raphtalia and an egg that hatches into a bird-like monster that he names Philo, both of whom grow into adulthood and become formidable warriors under his care. Naofumi and his friends cooperate to carry out their job as saviors as they solve the riddle of the waves and the reason why they are a threat not only to their world, but to other worlds as they gradually win the trust and gratitude of the people through their heroic deeds. Number 2. Food Wars. If you are a foodie person, this anime is surely for you. Restaurant Yukihira is the family business owned by Soma Yukihira, a teenager who hopes to one day become a full-time chef and surpass his father's culinary talent. Choichiro, however, accepts a new job that demands him closing his store and traveling the world. The narrative focuses on his experiences as he competes in shokugeki tournaments, interacts with his peers, and challenges Tatsuki's kids. After finding out that his father held the second seat in the Council of 10 in addition to being a student of Tatsuki, Soma is determined to excel at the academy. But he told this determination to everyone during the inauguration ceremony. It was this speech that lit a fire of hatred in everyone for Soma. He was abused for being a cocky brat, but that's not just it. This also drew the attention of the competitors to his back. The buddies and Soma then engage in combat with the Dark Chefs, with Soma ultimately vanquishing Asahi. As the manga comes to a close, Soma and Irina are competing in the Blue Championship battle. Irina calls Soma's cuisine disgusting even if she acknowledges that it exists. Number 1. Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk. Edgerunners takes place in Night City, an independent city in the free state of California plagued by widespread gang violence, cybernetic addiction, and corruption. The metropolis is divided into 6 districts, each with distinct living standards and governed by multiple megacorporations, such as Arasaka and its competitor, Militech. Most of the anime's narrative takes place in Santo Domingo, Night City's oldest, poorest, and most industrialized neighborhood. After losing everything in a drive-by shooting, an impulsive but gifted street kid named David decides to live on the wrong side of the law as an edge runner, a high-tech black market mercenary also known as a cyberpunk. In a dystopia overrun by corruption, crime, and cybernetic implants, David is a teenage Latino-American student at the esteemed Arasaka Academy who excels academically. Being from a low-income home, he experiences constant bullying from his peers and doesn't feel like he fits in at school. After his mother's death, everyone in the school started hated him because he couldn't afford the high-end gear. So David takes a new look and soon becomes an influential personality with others joining him as well. This surely deserves the Anime of the Year 2023 award, and that's why it is number 1 on our list. That's it for today, folks. Be sure to give it a like and subscribe.